nurse was called Haroldene Lane Hammond, and I got involved in the project when I was asked if I would photograph an autograph album that we believed was hers. It may well have been started by her elder sister, but certainly she spent a lot of time gathering the autographs of the soldiers who were here as patients. And it was fascinating photographing this album. There were so many wonderful entries in it. And also there was a tablecloth that the soldiers had signed, and then probably Haroldene had embroidered. Maybe her sister had done some of it and she continued it. And as we were doing this, I started collecting the names of the soldiers who were here, and there were approximately 500 soldiers who were sent here to recuperate after injuries or illness during the war. And we managed to get together a list of approximately 300, over 300. At the time she came to work here at the hospital, the family were living at a villa in Crossway Green, up towards Piercefield House. She started work here in the hospital the same year her sister Gwendolyn left the hospital. And it seems, we have a lot of photographs of her and a lot of evidence from the autograph books and from a letter. She seemed to have been very much liked, being a very happy, cheerful, helpful, very popular nurse here. And we have some evidence of this, considerable evidence of it, one of which is a letter from one of the patients who went home, Sergeant Fred Ballinger, and he wrote this in 1919. Dear Nurse Hammond, I want to thank you ever so much for all the kindness and consideration you showed to me whilst under your charge. I can assure you I am deeply grateful to you and for it all, and I must say I consider myself very fortunate in being in the care of such a lovely young lady as you. Life at Gree House, I can assure you, was very dull and monotonous for us lads, but you, with your kindness and forethought, made it a bit brighter for us all, and I shall ever remember you for it. In fact, all us lads were of the same opinion, that you were the one bright and cheering spot there. So I think that kind of is very, very good evidence for the popularity which she had. She remained here at Gree House throughout the war and became a full-time and paid nursing member when she earned £20 a year. Her works were still continuing in 1919 when the record card was completed. Her Monmouthshire County badge is still here in the museum. After the war, she married Edgar Shaw, who was a manager of a hosiery manufacturing company up in Leicester. How she met him, we can only imagine. Maybe he was a travelling salesman, but we don't know those details. She moved to Leicester, where Edgar had 2 children, Betty and Patricia. Patricia married and moved to Essex. Betty did not marry, she stayed at home with her parents. After Edgar died, he was 81. Haroldene and Betty lived in the house in Leicester until she died in 1985.